afternoon. Thanks a lot for coming and joining us Glass of Wine with Gilda. And I'm very happy to have you here today, Gary and Julie. And we are going to talk about your journey and what made you make the decision to move to Portugal. Okay?
Yes.
So today we are going to try this Quinta do Termo, which is a red wine from Beira Baixa. Okay? I'm trying not to mess it up because sometimes...
You're doing a great job.
Yeah. I hope you enjoy it.
Cheers.
Oh.
It's good.
You like it?
I think so good. Thank you.
Okay, so tell us a little bit of what you used to do before you came to Portugal. First, you, Julie.
Well, I worked in the university system. I was a theater professor, and I taught acting and directing, and I standardly directed 3 full-length plays a year in very large auditoriums. And it was a great job. It was a way of being an artist and actually making some money at it. And so it was good.
Best of both worlds.
It was perfect. I went to graduate school, and then I got a job. So that was wonderful. And I'm retired now.
What about you, Gary?
Thanks for asking. So, I spent about 40 years in the tech industry. I did product planning, technical marketing. I have my MBA in marketing, and I spent a lot of time in the high-tech industry. And I'm following my passion in life, which is photography, in retirement now.
And when did you retire?
So as soon as I got my visa, the next day I gave my notice at work. And 2 weeks later was my final day at work. And about a week later, I was in Portugal. So July 2nd was my last day of work. July 7th, we were here in Portugal.
So you planned everything in advance?
We did. And we were waiting for that visa to come through.
And when did you start planning?
It was about a year, maybe a year and a half before that. We started the planning with the NIF and the bank account, and then seeing you on the YouTube channels.
We watched every day.
We watched every day.
We did.
And we were paying attention to what was going on. And we realized, if we're going to fulfill our dream of living in Portugal, we better do it sooner than later. So.
And why did you... Setúbal became very popular among the expat community lately. And why did you choose Setúbal to live?
We had a friend that we had known in Austin, Texas, and she moved maybe 6 months before we started thinking about this endeavor. And when we came last December, we went to Setúbal and we thought, well, this is kind of a sweet spot. But we thought for sure we wanted to be in Lisbon. But when we started doing all the paperwork, we thought, well, maybe we should land in a smaller place first, get our residency, and then think about it. Well, now we're there and thinking, we have all these friends now and we're happy. It's like, are we going to move? So we're unclear. Got this.
But you already have friends there.
Yes.
A lot. So probably you are going to stay.
But Gary wants to move to Lisbon. So we'll see.
This is where it's happening for me in terms of photography, the type of photography that I like to do.
Which is?
I like to practice a type of photography called street photography, which is taking candid photos in the street of people, of architecture, or urban landscapes. And Setúbal doesn't give that to me just yet. I haven't found that voice yet in Setúbal.
What about the fishermen over there?
There are a lot of fishermen in Setúbal, but my photography tends to be more of a cityscape than a fishing town, or a fishing city or town. So I find myself. I'm originally from New York City, so I find myself being very in tune with a capital city like Lisbon. So, but every day that we spend in Setúbal, I'm getting my feet further and further planted because it's not too far from Lisbon to come into. It's not too far to come.
Yes, it's not too
Setúbal.
far.
Yeah.
With the train now.
Yeah, and the options are getting more and more now for transportation.
And what do you like the most about Setúbal?
Well, it has a very strong expat community, which on one hand is great, and what we really want Portuguese friends, but they tend to have something to do all the time. There was a Friday happy hour where everyone meets. There's a Sunday cake and tea, and there's a walking group Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and it's like they're always entertaining us, and so it's quite lovely. And you go to parties. Now we're going to Christmas parties, and so you sort of think, this is like a retirement home, only it's a really big city full of people having fun all the time. So it's pleasurable in that way.
And what made you take the decision that you wanted to move to Portugal?
Wow, that one's on you.
That one's on me. Let's see. We came to Portugal about 10 years ago for the first time. Someone I sold a photograph to 10 years ago, I called him up and said, is Portugal a great place to come at Christmas time? And his response was, absolutely. And if you're coming at Christmas time, you must have dinner with my family, which is not traditionally Portuguese, right? I mean, it's typically, it takes a while to get invited into someone's home. And this family just opened their arms to us, and we've stayed in touch with them for over 10 years. And when we were getting ready to retire, we were looking, at what our options were, and we felt very comfortable in Portugal coming here over the last 10 years. So it really became a choice of, hey, where do we want to retire? What kind of lifestyle do we want to become? We came here from Portland, Oregon. And there's a saying in Portugal that you have 300 days of sun. Well, in Oregon, the state that we come from, it has about 300 days of rain. So, it's
a huge difference.
It's a huge difference. So when we were looking at the climate, the people, the atmosphere, everything about Portugal just was lining up with what we wanted the rest of our lives to look like. Wouldn't you say, Uganda?
And is it meeting your expectations?
Yes, and more.
Yes.
The Portuguese, like Julie was saying, the Portuguese, we really want Portuguese friends, and we're starting to learn and practice Portuguese. In fact, when we go to a cafe, I ask the person behind the counter, can I practice my Portuguese? Now, I'm not asking you to do the rest of this interview in Portuguese, but we are trying to learn, or we're soon to be taking Portuguese lessons. So would you say it's exceeding our expectations?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I had lived in Asia as a young girl. My sister was with an airline. I went to live with her, and I lived it just felt like it was a culture full of mild-mannered people. Do you understand? People that weren't loud words. And I find that Portuguese replicates that a bit, right? It's like, it's not a macho culture. It's people are calm, nice, sweet, and I really enjoy that. So that makes it so livable here for me.
How would you describe your migration process? You did the D7 visa, right?
Yeah. Well, first there was the NIF and the bank account. And once we took it one step at a time. Can we do this? Can we do the NIF? Can we do the bank account? Once we got that settled, we figured that we had, let's go move on to the next step. So I was working full time, maybe 60 hours a week. So I was doing this in my spare time. So we took it one step at a time. I moved, okay, what are the steps to get our visa? And that's when we contacted your team to get engaged with, if we're going to do this. I was in the tech industry and I thought I can do this on my own, right? Like this is something I can do. And then I thought, this is something I really want. Let me put this in the hands of somebody who's experienced in doing this. And that's why I said, let's connect with the experts and make sure that this happens on a schedule that we want, not 3-4 years from now when I have the time to fill it in between my job, my family, my photography, my full-time, So it was really, let's get this done. Julie's a little bit older than me, and I have cancer. We can edit that out. No, but she was retired before. She was retired before me, and I had a health scare a couple of years ago, and Julie was trying to get me to. Urging me to retire because we engaged with a financial planner, and the financial planner looked at everything we had and said, you're ready to retire. You don't have to worry, about your finances as long as you don't go out and buy a Ferrari and a yacht and a mansion. If you keep your lifestyle the way that it is, you'll be fine. So once my financial planner said that, I was okay, D7, let's go. Let's dig into this. And it couldn't happen soon enough. Listen.
And the job he had, it has imploded since he retired. The company. It's like, oh my goodness, I'm so glad he's here now instead of
falling through a crack.
Right. So it's wonderful. Perfect timing.
Perfect timing. Perfect timing.
Yeah.
Do you already have any Portuguese friends?
Yeah.
Really?
And how was the process? How did they tackle it?
It started with the young man he met that bought the picture, and these we have used them actually. We were thinking about buying a property in Setúbal. And they're architects, both of them, the mother and the father. We said, will you come look at this sheet, this place? And they walk in and they're like, oh, they were like, I don't think so. They were helpful to us. And they've continued to be friends with us, for us, all this time. But we just got invited to New Year, Christmas Eve day dinner, and we get to go inside a Portuguese home and have it.
And how was it?
We haven't done it yet. It's next week.
Yeah, Christmas
Eve day. Yeah. So we feel really
It's going to be amazing.
Right.
I feel the traditions, the Portuguese food.
So excited about it.
Our neighbors are Portuguese where we live, and they've invited us into their
We knock at each other's
They knock on our doors.
We help them.
Pick off each other's packages. It's just so sweet. So it's really, really amazing.
We've really met some wonderful people.
And what do you miss the most about the United States?
I spent a particularly good amount of time at this beach outside of Portland. It's about an hour away. And I used to direct plays in their theater. I spent 6 weeks there, and I was using my camera, taking amazing pictures of seagulls and things. And I think it was my happiest time in my life. And it has this haystack rock, it's called, and it is stunning, this rock. And some days I look at my pictures and it makes me cry. It's like, oh, I love that beach. So it's nostalgia, about a place. But we were not as happy as we could be living there. And I would say that it was likely the violence and the guns. And we were like, we need to go somewhere else, somewhere we feel safer.
And do you feel safer here? Do you feel like you can walk tonight on the streets alone?
It's fantastic. We never feel fear. Never. And it's crazy because we noticed that the doors of people's apartments have like 7 locks. So we're like, why would it have 7 locks? What are you locking out here?
It's
Right.
almost like a bank vault.
It's
Like
unbelievable.
your front doors have
What?
kitchen.
For what?
Right?
We don't have that. They don't have that in the United States, all those lots. But it's just the way the doors.
And we did an open mic the other night in a cafe. Gary did a wonderful speech, and I also did a poem. I read a poem. But he walked in with his camera, which is a nice hunk of German metal. And it cost a lot. And the guy ran to Gary, like, take it, put it away. And he said, I'm from Brazil. You could never walk with that. You never. You would tell someone to put that away immediately. So he was experiencing the same kind of home reality as we do, because he can't walk around that in the U.S. either.
Yeah. I would be remiss if I didn't say I miss my 2-year-old grandchild.
Yes, of course.
So
Yes,
and my children, so I would be remiss if I didn't mention that.
Do they plan to come here to visit you?
We hope so.
Yeah, they don't have. He's too young, I think,
To really enjoy it
Yes.
and understand
But
what is here.
we do the phone calls and we do the having the little videos with that.
Yeah, video conferencing really bridges that gap. I talk to my sister almost every night. So
You're very close to her.
yeah.
Yes, she just came in on a cruise and she had 7 hours. But we met her. We took her to the Time Museum. We went to lunch. It was so great. And we say bye. And off they went to the Azores.
But I will say that if you're coming to Portugal to visit us, make sure you bring us something from the United States.
What do you mean?
There's some
Peanut butter?
There, she has almond butter.
It's like, I eat almond butter, but where do you find it here? I have to go to an organic store. Maybe I can find it. So yeah, there's little things on my list that someone could bring.
Yeah. I had a whole bunch of photography stuff that I couldn't find here, equipment. I had to order from Germany or from Italy or from people coming from the United States because I still shoot film. So I went digital and then I went back to film. So there are a lot of things that I can't find.
But I think another thing that's so great about this country is there isn't a person that doesn't want to come here, right?
Yeah.
It's like we have visitors at least once a month and sometimes 3 times a month because everyone wants to come.
Yeah.
So I don't
So
necessarily.
you have a guest room?
Yes. And I didn't list that I missed my friends or people because they come here.
That's true. We probably have 5 or 6 visitors just in the 6 months that we've been here. Yeah. So
You don't have time to miss them. So you come in.
we live in a place that people want to be.
Yeah.
So it's
We went to Texas for one of his jobs for a 3 or 4 year longer. Nobody visited us in Texas. Nobody.
Yeah, to go there.
yeah.
But to Portugal, they crossed the Atlantic.
They will come. Yes.
Yeah. My cousins came on a cruise. My sisters came on a cruise, and then some other friends came for longer periods of time. Because being on a cruise, you're only here for 8 hours. So
It's nice.
it's perfect. We don't have enough time to show you
Ah.
the riches of Portugal.
And besides Setúbal and Lisbon, what else have you discovered in Portugal? Other places?
We went to Calgary's Urania. That was really good. His sister is a ceramicist, so we are involved with that part of her life, and I wanted to go see Pinheiro's work. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Pinheiro.
Yeah.
My God.
Amazing.
We saw his sort of factory. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And we went to Obidos. We've gone as far as Braga and Coimbra and down to Algarve. We've done a lot of travel because we wanted to make sure we landed in the city that we love the most. But after all that travel, we still wanted to land in Lisbon, but have found our way to Setúbal. It's a good chance we'll move to Lisbon.
Yeah.
Good chance.
Yeah. When we did our scouting trip, we went to a lot of cities to see, okay, is this a place we want to live? Is this a place we want to live? We even went to the Azores, to Ponta Delgada, And my friend who I mentioned, who I'd known for 10 years, he said, I've never been there. I'd love to go. And I said, why don't you come with us? So it was the first time he went. And he went. And the first thing he wanted to do was go see those pineapples, the round pineapples there. So we dropped our luggage and went and saw the pineapples. And we had a great trip. So we've seen a lot. I think there's still so much. I mean, we don't have our residency cards yet. We have our temporary cards that you guys helped us with. So we don't have those yet, but there is so much to see in Portugal that we don't feel like
stuck here.
We're not stuck in Portugal.
Because there's so much to see and so much.
There's so much to be stuck in Portugal with.
Even one village over. If you decide to say, I'm going to Setúbal today, or I'm going to go to Palmela, it's absolutely worth exploring each one of those towns.
Yeah.
There's something exciting in every one of them.
In fact, we went to Caldas, and then we said, well, what's Alcobaça like? And so we went there. And then we went to Nazaré.
What he's talking
about?
Alcobaça.
What a city.
Beautiful.
It's like a bowl of beauty, right? It looks...
When I was little, like very little, 5, 6, 7 years old, I used to ask my parents to go to Alcobaça every year.
Wow. Really?
Yes.
And it was a special...
No, just to look at the monastery.
It's incredible.
I would stay there and look to the monastery at the monastery. Now we can go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Wow.
Really, just the way it looks, it feels like you're in California or something, like the way the mountains are and the way
the hills. So
beautiful.
It's beautiful. And what do you think is the greatest challenge of you Americans moving to Portugal?
So I'll take that one. Our biggest challenge, and I think when we talk to a lot of the other expats in Setúbal, we've found that probably finding your housing the biggest challenge. Finding out where your first apartment or your first house is going to be, because you're typically doing it from a very far distance and you don't have all the information, or it's really hard to make a decision. So we've made decisions on where we were going to live based upon photographs and a video of a place, and we trusted someone's opinion of a certain area. And we found it less than ideal for our living situation. So we've moved since, in the 6 months that we've been in Setúbal, we've moved apartments because of that. So I would say, finding someone that can help you with, the selection and find out what are your 3 big items that you must have, like a big kitchen or an extra bedroom, or those type of things that are not the same for everybody. So the biggest challenge for us was finding a suitable living space.
Like we ended up in an apartment that we never saw the floor plan. And when we got in, there was a line and a room, a little tiny kitchen. No air or heat. It was like, wait a minute. I didn't think I needed to see that floor plan when we said yes. And then the person said, if you don't like it, you can leave. But then at the same time handed us the thing to sign. And then ultimately said, well, we don't like it. Well, you signed that, she said. I'm like, wait. So it was not good. And it set us back. So
yeah. And it wasn't a Portuguese person.
Right.
It was someone who was not a Portuguese landlord.
Right.
And we signed this lease agreement, but she kept assuring us, well, if you don't like it, you can leave. And we took her for her word. And we wound up having to pay extra
double, triple rent,
rents in order to fulfill our.
But now we have a lovely apartment. We're and we're renting and considering buying out.
No, that's good. I'm glad everything started out.
Yes.
And last, we have a quiz for you.
Hello.
Can you mention at least three Portuguese celebrities? And Cristiano Ronaldo doesn't count.
Oh, I was going to say that.
Well, I can name So here's an interesting one. Yeah.
Okay.
I was in the Azores. I know this might take a little longer than 3. I was in the Azores, and I'm a photographer, and we needed to find a parking space. So there were 3 people sitting on a wall, and I said, "Hey, can I park here?" And they said they moved, and I saw them shooting or photographing with a film camera. So I said, "Hey, would you like a roll of film?" As a way to say thank you for moving. And I find it was Nick Von Rupp. Do you know this name? He's a famous surfer at Nazaré. He surfs the 75-foot, the 25-meter
I
waves.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Is he Portuguese?
He's
And
Portuguese.
his girlfriend's on a soap opera,
Telenovela.
a telenovela, but we don't know her name.
Yeah.
But we were told.
So he asked me, I didn't know who he was. I asked him, he said, "Have you been to Nazaré?" And I said, "No, I haven't." He said, "If you go, here's my number." And he gave me his WhatsApp number. And he said, "Hit me up, call me, and I'll tell you if the waves are breaking. If I'm not there, one of my buddies is there, and he can tell you."
Yes.
So Nick Von Rupp, look him up. He's on
He has a
YouTube.
YouTube video of all of his stuff, so you can look that up.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid I'm going to fail this one. I did see a fado singer.
Yeah.
She looked like she was 17 years old in Azatown oh my God, this girl. But now I can't even remember her name. But I did go see her.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
I'm trying to think who else. Well, Pineros.
But that's he's done it. Right?
Someone related with wines?
Wines. What do you say? Do you know?
Don't.
We're failing.
Mela?
We're failing.
Yeah. There's that winery there. We haven't been to it yet, but we're planning. That's the one that Allison has been to.
No.
We haven't been there yet, so we're gonna fail.
Is she from Palmilla? This famous person?
Yes, she has the winery there. Evelyn
we don't-
Freitas.
Who is it?
Freitas.
Little Freitas.
Yeah, she mentioned that name to me. And isn't that also the Portuguese word for day of the week? Like,
No,
no,
it's not.
it's not.
Mm.
Okay.
We're failing. We're failing everything.
So you failed.
Okay.
You just saw Cristiano Ronaldo.
That's it. How did you know?
Is Messi from just?
I'm wrong. I'm wrong talking about it.
Oh, it was a pleasure having
Likewise.
you here.
I've been to a Benfica game though.
Oh.
Are you Benfica or are you sporting?
No.
But don't we need to tell you how wonderful your service has been? Don't we need to?
You can tell. You don't need, but you can tell.
We couldn't have done it without you.
Yeah.
I mean, the sense of security. I mean, even to go to the AIMA appointment, to have her go up there and let us sit and watch, the security. I wouldn't have known how to do that. It's like we could, speak Portuguese.
Yeah.
So it was great.
Yeah.
Always.
And we had a really complex passive income situation, and your team knocked it out of the park. I mean, I didn't consulted us with some of the businesses that we were running and converting them to passive income and making sure that they were, and they are passive income. Everything is legit, and you guys helped us with that.
Yeah.
So yes, because sometimes when you have some time of passive income that it's not that straightforward to the person that is analyzing it,
Yeah.
you need to make it clear. And yes, my team, they have experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like we have an Airbnb in the house that we own in Portland. And what we did was we leased it to somebody so that she's paying us rent, and whatever she makes over and above that is hers to keep. So we're not running.
So it becomes passive.
So
That was helpful.
that was very helpful to us.